And all surrounding areas, especially the surrounding areas. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, the maitre d' of chaos this morning, the king of incendiary content here in central Mississippi, self-proclaimed king of incendiary content. Good morning to all. It's Friday morning. I'm live in the Mac Hike of Flowwood Studios. If you're in the market for a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram this weekend, get out to Mac Hike Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. I get it confused sometimes. You know what I'm talking about. Lakeland Drive, right there at Airport Road. Go see Corey McDonald and the team. And everybody wants to know a guy. Now you know three. Go see them all at Mac Hike of Flowwood. All right. Hey, if you're looking for something to eat today for lunch, get out to the Gathering restaurant right there at Livingston. It is fried catfish, $10 catfish plates this Friday and every Friday at Livingston. The Gathering at Livingston. That is what's for lunch today. Hey, good morning. Shout out to a little friend of mine, Miss Sawyer Shanks, my fellow shoe nut. Miss Sawyer, one of the best photographers I know, and she also has a love for basketball shoes like I do. You can take the folks out of South Jackson, but you can't take the South Jackson out the South Jacksonian. We gonna love our basketball shoes. So shout out to Sawyer. I know she's in the car with her dad this morning listening. Okay, let's jump into it. We got the pleasantries out the way. Ted Fortenberry, general manager, WLBT, went on an attack last night. He went on the attack. And we're going to pick this apart. This is his version of the bottom line with Frank Melton. He goes after Barbie. I don't think he mentions her by name, but we know what he's talking about. I got it queued up here. You may have missed it, but now you got it. This is Ted Fortenberry with WLBT.
Consider this as an expression of opinion by the editorial committee of WLBT and is presented by Regional Vice President and General Manager Ted Fortenberry.
As most of you are aware, there was an exchange last week on our station that was offensive and hurtful. It made us realize if someone who has lived here all their life was ignorant to the offensive nature of those words used, we have a lot of work to do. Because of WLBT's history, when the station was not fairly representing all voices in the communities we serve, it has been our mission to make sure that never happens again. With the management, oversight, and guidance of many civil rights leaders, WLBT established its foundation as always sharing the voices of everyone, period. We also understand the power of WLBT and how we impact and influence the communities we serve. We understand that with responsibility comes accountability. Words matter, they can be painful, they can be harmful, and they are powerful. And we are committed to using this moment to not only unite, but to make this an educational opportunity and to make a difference. We've already started having meaningful conversations with veterans of the civil rights movement to talk.
Hold on, I got to stop right there. Veterans of the civil rights movement have been called in because Barbie Bassett said grandmammy and chocolate pie. I'm glad to know that the civil rights movement has come along so far that we can now worry about a news reporter saying grandmammy and chocolate pie.
Talk about how we.
I can't stop. The battle has been won. The battle has been won. There are no more. Good Lord.
Can take this negative situation and turn it into something positive, something impactful. We will continue those conversations, and through our cooperative efforts, we are very optimistic we can make a difference. We don't know the exact details at this time, but I promise I will keep you updated on our progress and share how you can join with us to make Jackson and our entire state a better place.
All right, so that was Ted Fortenberry, the regional VP and general manager of WLBT. Let me make sure I get his title correct there for you. All right, if you want to chime in, the Dustin Bailey at Southern Magnolias Realty phone line is 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. I ain't through, though. See, you may not live in the culture war quite like I do. So you may not know that on The View a couple days ago, a black female anchor called all white Republican women roaches. That's right. And, hey, I do indeed have the receipts right here, my friends.
Republicans, but what's also surprising to me is the abortion issue. I read a poll just yesterday that white Republican suburban women are now going to vote Republican.
Why?
It's almost like roaches voting for Raid, right? It's like they're voting.
No, it's insulting to the voter.
They're voting against their own self-interest. Do they want to live in Gilead?
Okay,
do they want to live in the hands?
Do we love democracy or not? Because just saying that it's insulting to the voter. People make up decisions on what's right for their family, and the idea that you should have a say.
So I'm just curious, what's worse? Saying grandmammy and chocolate pie, or calling all white Republican women cockroaches? I'm trying to figure it out. Ted Fortenberry, words are weapons. Words are offensive. When do I get to be offended? When do we get to be offended? When is it a line too far? I'm just curious. Inquiring minds want to know. Let's take a call here on the Dustin Bailey phone line this morning. Hello, you're on there? Hey, you're on there.
Good morning.
Hey, Sylvia.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
That's good. All I wanted to say this morning was he has told us hogwash. That's what I wanted to say about Mr. Fortenberry. Hogwash. And I'll probably right again.
He sent you a lie, didn't he? He lied to you, didn't
Yes, he did. He did. As far as I'm concerned, he did.
Tell people what he said.
Oh, no, I don't want to tell people. I can't say. He said that the words were offensive and told me thank you for the email. And what else did he say? I don't have the email in front of me.
I remember. He said that she was not forced to apologize, that she did that herself.
Right.
Then they went and pulled the Communist Manifesto off the internet and made her read that.
Yes, he did say that, and I don't believe that.
No,
I don't believe that at all.
Now they may have gave her a choice. You apologize or you're fired. They may not have. I mean, he may be technically right. They may not have forced her to apologize, but they forced her to apologize if she wanted to keep her job.
I believe that is the case. But you know what? She's been there 25 years. She's been an asset to that show, and I mean the news. And I don't understand why this is such a big deal. Chocolate pie and grandma mammy. Let's get rid of this mess about words. And another thing I wanted to say is that for a Caucasian individual, especially the male, y'all are just being attacked without. I just don't understand as much as this attack meant is being done. It's like you have to be ashamed to be a white male here in America. That's crazy to me. We are Americans. Let's live like Americans and stop all this madness.
Bring the heat, Sylvia. I appreciate it. Yeah,
Talk to you later. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I can rest assured. Look, the attack, I've been taking arrows, as have all of my other, not just Caucasian friends. I appreciate what Sylvia's saying there. It's people who stand on the right side of the Lord. We've been taking arrows for a while. People who stand on the right side of sanity have been taking arrows for a long time. My black conservative friends, my Asian conservative friends, my Hispanic conservative friends. It is not just white males. I mean, we're the punching bag. We're kind of the face of it, but it isn't just us. I promise. I got Kim Wade right here on the radio station. We got our friend Derek. I got my good buddy, Baby Fred. Shout out to Fred and his family. And I could go on and on and on. And every time I name folks, I forget to name somebody. But we take plenty of arrows. And it's time that we stand up and fight back. One of the greatest honors I get from doing this show is you guys coming up to me, complete strangers, or sending me messages or whatever, saying, man, thank you so much for saying the things that I wish I could say. And while I take that as a great compliment, I wish that you didn't have to tell me that. I wish that we could all speak our minds and call out insanity when we see it and not have to bow down to it. It don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense for people to have to be worried about their jobs and worried about these cancel culture vultures trying to get them fired. It don't make sense for me. Let's take another call here on the Dustin Bailey at Southern Magnolias Realty phone line. Hey, caller, you're on there.
Yeah, good morning. Just want to opine on the Barbie Bassett issue. Folks, Mississippi is an at-will state. And if you understand that, then you would understand that, number two, they're in the business of making money. Capitalism. And you don't want anybody to tarnish your brand. You have a wide market. You still want to make money with advertising and with vendors in the local area. Now, she had two choices. Like you said, she could have stood up and said, you know what? I don't believe I said anything wrong. I don't believe that it was offensive. I quit. And then now you guys on the right or your army could have compensated her or started a GoFundMe to send her into a golden parachute retirement.
Well, we would have.
Yeah, but here's you said would, but you didn't.
We didn't have to.
Thing is,
she
is this.
She walked the plank and apologized.
But you are a businessman, right? If you're a businessman, you have a brand. You make choices about the people that you interact with, what you say. And if somebody works for you and you believe they tarnish your brand, you got two choices. You can say, well, I'm just going to eat this one, and I'm going to stand by my employee, or you're going to say, hey, this is going to cost me, and it's all about the bottom line, folks. All of these big companies have stockholders, and they are about net profit. They are not about losing market share.
Well, hopefully, thank you, John. Hopefully, we affect their stock shares and their bottom line through our protest. At the end of the day, if you're really offended by this, here's what I implore you do. If you got the WLBT app on your phone, you're tired of seeing that trash come to it, those breaking news updates about murder and chaos and everything else, delete it. If you follow them on Facebook, go hit unfollow. That's what I did to a lot of them. Now, I follow news because I get on here and opine about it. But I hadn't followed Fox News, for example, since the day they jumped ship and declared Joe Biden president. I hit unfollow across the board on Fox News. Took it off my phone. I don't follow it on social media. I don't click on it. I don't do none of that. ESPN, same thing. That's why I don't keep up with sports anymore. I deleted all the sports apps off my phone. I don't get any breaking sports news. I follow Dark Horse Press. I follow Kingfish. I do have the WLBT app on my phone, and I doubt I'd take it down because I like to have things to make fun of. But if you want to protest, don't watch WLBT. That was The View. Let's go back to that clip of the lady calling our good, conservative, middle-class, suburban white women cockroaches. These are the same women that they said swung the election. They can't figure out who to give the credit to for the 2020 election. Black folks want it. They say they're the reason Joe Biden's president, and I'm willing to let them have the credit for that. But they also say that white, middle-class suburban white women were offended by mean tweets, and they voted for Joe Biden because they wanted civility back in the White House, a crack-smoking, hooker-banging son along with them. Civility. Get out of here. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Breaking rules when necessary. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. I think that's what we've done a lot this week, man. We've stood up and we broke some dang rules. Every now and then you just got to stand up and tell somebody something is ridiculous. And I think we've done a dang good job of that here this week. I think we do a good job of it every week. But we got to affect something personal this week. We got to affect something local this week. And I think you all did a great job, just from me to you. All right, we're back live in the Mac Hike of Flowwood Studios. This segment is going to be brought to you by my friends out at Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Man, I know you heard the commercial there. I shared a picture of a pizza they cooked yesterday. It may have been a couple days ago, but I found the picture yesterday and shared it on, I think my personal, or Save Jackson Facebook. My goodness. I was so disappointed when I got home and I had to eat something I had at the house and not a Acme Pizza and Daiquiri, but your boy can only eat so much pizza in a week. And we had some at work the other day. But get out to Acme Pizza and Daiquiris right there in Old Fannin, right there on Old Fannin at Fannin Mart. on the reservoir. They deliver all over the place. They even get dipped down into Jackson some. They're on all major delivery platforms, including our favorite Take a Break Deliveries, locally owned, locally operated. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Go see my buddy Chip. They got pizza, deep fried pizza, which I still got to try. Mozzarella sticks. You know, your boy loves mozzarella sticks. Pasta, hamburgers, and so much more, along with 9 flavors of frozen daiquiris and a full bar with premium bourbons, vodkas, tequilas, and I'm sure they got a little Fireball back there too if that's your preference. Check them out. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Open daily at 4 p.m. right there, Fannin Mart on the res. All right, welcome back into the show. Let's check up on the Guns and Gear text line, man. I have neglected that a little bit this week. We've been kind of going nonstop here. Kimberly texts in and says, "Well, hell, that's the first I've heard of Ted Fortenberry. Barbie may not come back. Sounds like he drew the line." I'm like, "Yes, he did." She said, "Kicked her while she was down. It's just not a good look." And it got me to thinking, he did. I mean, talk about just kicking somebody while they're down. She made those comments last Saturday. No, last Friday afternoon. And it's just now, he put that out last night, Thursday night. He released that. 6 full days later, almost a full week later, it took him to muster up a response. I'm disgusted. I'm offended, Ted Fortenberry. Words hurt, and you have hurt me. I am offended. I want to cancel something. Let's read some more text here on the Guns and Gear text line. Chad texts in and says, "Time for us folks to let our money talk and stop watching WLBT. I guarantee you we pay their checks. It's not the minority community. That's the weapon we have yet to use for all these liberal companies." I despise making things about black and white. I mean, I know we talk about it a lot here because the culture war demands it. But I hate to say black, white, white, black, all that. But every now and then, we hear about respect our black dollars, all this stuff. Well, what about our dollars? What about our dollars? And we're quote unquote the majority, especially in Mississippi. If we don't like being trampled upon, just like John that called in a minute ago, if we don't like it, don't support it. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what he's saying. I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Just like Democrats do. I'm not even going to suggest this because I just don't agree with it at the core of my soul. I don't believe in cancel culture. But you can silently protest by not supporting those advertisers over there if you don't like what they're saying. God knows that's what they do to ours. And I guess that's all I'll say about that. Just let them know. Let them know. You don't like it. You're tired of it. You're tired of being trampled on. That's what they do. It works. It absolutely works. Let's see here. Unknown texter. We are all victims of apartheid. I think it's an apartheid government and waning cultural vestiges. Go News. I can't. It's just too. It's a little butchered up there, brother. I just can't read all that. And it may not be butchered. It may just be big words that Clay don't know. I'll fall on that sword too. Let's see here. Says, due to political correctness stance, these organizations will no longer be broadcasting games on our TVs. Oh yeah, it says my stance on BS from media biggies. It says, due to current political stance of these organizations, we will no longer be broadcasting games on our TVs. And it's got MLB, NBA, NFL. Yeah. Hey, look, man, I was a big football guy, and I still watch a little bit of football. But when all the football players from college to pro got on that George Floyd bandwagon, I got off. I quit supporting. I was talking to a buddy of mine, Skip, yesterday, works for the Rankin County News, came by the dealership. He's a big Ole Miss guy. And we were talking yesterday about the John Cohen leaving Mississippi State. He said, what do you think? I said, man, I said, it was one of those weird, real tests that my fandom just isn't what it used to be. I just didn't care. I said, I just didn't care. If it's on in the background and they win, rah-rah. I still wear my maroon, typically on Fridays. I'm wearing black today. I typically wear a maroon shirt on Friday for Maroon Fridays. But I just don't care. And I hate that. I hate that they've taken that joy away from me. But they have. My love for sports has been replaced by being front lines on the culture war. Let's see here. Read a few more texts for y'all. Then I want to get to a fun story. It says, my unknown texter, my wife and I were blessed with our first grandchild a year and a half ago. My wife, a white, skinny, long-legged, red-headed, deliberated for weeks on what she desired to be called, and she chose Mammy. Are we expected to change what she desires to be called? So much of black culture and southern white culture is intertwined, from our food to our interest. We live in a time now where so many people are offended by things they have never experienced. We live in a time now where every word in the dictionary is offensive to somebody. I guess we aren't even supposed to talk at all. My sweet wife wears her Mammy name with pride, not hate. I say your reaction to speech often says more about you than it does the person who spoke. Amen. You don't get to tell me what's offensive or what I should be offended by. I don't get to, on the flip side, I can't tell you what you should or shouldn't be offended by, but just be offended and go on about your business. Don't try to get somebody fired. There's plenty of things that I see that I don't like on social media. I've said this so many times, y'all probably going to think you're listening to a rerun. There's so many things that I see on social media. Sometimes I'll reply to it. Most of the times nowadays, because Facebook will put you in jail for saying anything, I just self-censor and I scroll on. But you know what I've never done? I've never clicked on the person's profile that said it, saw where they worked, picked up the phone and said, excuse me, I've been offended by something one of your employees said. If they're not fired, I'm going to leave you a bad review. I'm going to get all my people and we're going to leave you bad reviews if they're not fired over something they said away from work, unrelated to work, that offended me. It's just stupid, man. I've never thought anybody should be fired for offending me or offending my senses. I just choose to not break bread with them, but I've never picked up the phone and tried to get them fired. That just don't make any sense. Don't do that. Let's see here. Sean texts in on the Guns and Gear text line, says, man, I was offended last night. Stumbled across a Def Comedy Jam tribute or something. All they was saying was MFer, effing, N-word and all. I'm sure this is a dead horse, but why do they say that so much and expect us to never say it? Look, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's an eternal mystery. I have no will or want to say the N-word, but I'm amazed that for a word that has so much power over a group of people, that they willfully call each other that as a term of endearment constantly. If it's such a powerful word and has so much negative meaning, why do you call one another that? We're gonna have to get Brad Franklin on here one day to tell us why. Speaking of him, I tell you, we're going to save it. When we come back on the other side of this break, A celebrity here in Jackson's car was broken into. Jackson royalty. The car was broken into. If you've been on the Save Jackson page this morning, you already know what I'm talking about. But if you hadn't, you'll find out here on the other side of the break. We'll be right back on 103.9 when necessary. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here in the Mac Hike of Flowwood Studios. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends out of Boondocks Firearms Training Academy. Man, get out there this weekend and get a membership. I'm telling you guys, it is the best deal going if you like to shoot your pew-pew. Look, I've got it pulled up here. You can go to boondocksfta.com for all the details, but real quick, an individual monthly membership starts at $25 for their standard package. A standard family package, which covers anybody that lives in your home, only $35. So if you got a family of 4 and you like to shoot, $35 for all you can shoot. Man, you can't beat it with a stick. If you want to upgrade to the trainer's package and really take advantage of some extra perks, the individual monthly membership starts at $40 and only $50 for the family. Plus, you get a free training voucher once per year to take advantage of one of their training courses. If it's a individual or family. If you got a family, the whole family gets to take the course. I'm telling you, man, that is a lot of bang for the buck. Those individually, those classes are $200 each, so you can't beat that. You can bring a guest for only $15. You get a 10% discount in the pro shop. If you get a firearm the firearm transfers. If you order a gun online and get it shipped there, free. They don't charge you the normal $25 transfer fee. Unlimited. So look, you can't beat that. Check it out, boondocksfta.com. And I believe they are open 7 days a week. So after church on Sundays, you want to get out there and get some practice in. Great time to do it. For us guys that work in the car business, Sunday afternoons are sometimes our only free time. So I definitely appreciate them opening up on Sunday afternoons. All right, so speaking of firearms training, if you live and or work anywhere near Jackson, Mississippi, you need to be trained up on your firearm abilities. Jacksonians, I stumbled across this story on jacksonjambalaya.com this morning. Jacksonians were not happy. Well, according to Brad Franklin, I'm sure it was angry Madison and Rankin County residents coming back down here to finish what they started, breaking into all them cars because they were mad game day was in town. But sometimes I make myself laugh. Deion Sanders' son, Shiloh Sanders, his big jacked up Chevrolet Z71, whatever it is, got broke into in Jackson a couple of days ago. And you may say, "Oh well, Clay, everybody's car gets broken into in Jackson. He could have been anywhere and got his car broke into, but he was not just anywhere. He was in front. It was parked right in front of Deion's office at the football facility on campus there at Jackson State. It's just nowhere is safe in Jackson from the criminal element or from the angry Madison and Rankin County residents coming over here to get their due justice that game day came here. Oh, man. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. But, anyway, Jacksonians have broke into Shiloh Sanders' vehicle. And hey, like father, like son, they got Deion's twice, I think. Broke into his vehicle. They broke into his office during the game one time, in which that may have ended up being an inside job, I think. I remember there being some drama there. They got mad. They get mad at Deion. See, Deion's learning like I had to learn, and Shiloh here is going to learn too. They get so mad when you talk about the crime. You're not allowed to acknowledge this stuff is happening. You're part of the problem. If you talk about your car getting broken into, you're not allowed to say there's a problem. I'm telling you, when I started the Save Jackson page, I caught more flack for just talking about the problems than they gave the criminals for doing the problems. Example, y'all hear my intro. We always talk about the positive solutions only people been in charge for a long time, and I ain't seeing too many positive solutions. That's where it came from. They tell me, you don't talk about it unless you got a positive solution. I have an easy solution. What is a positive solution anyway? That means that's called give me money or shut up. That's what they want. The easy solution, don't break in cars. Don't rob. Don't steal. Don't kill. Don't litter. I know that one really grinds Kim Wade's gears. Don't litter. Just be a normal human. Get up. Go to work. Act right. There's some words that they get. Here's something to offend y'all. Act right. Get a job. Well, your grandmammy gets that paddle, gets that belt, gets on your rear end. Act right. I mean, I'm telling you, if Deion Sanders is here next year, paint me shot. I got about as good a chance as winning that $1.5 billion Powerball as Jackson does of keeping Deion Sanders here next year. You know, I saw talking about building a stadium for Deion. Anytime you got a slow news day around Jackson, especially during football season, they've learned to talk about JSU getting a stadium. It's kind of like in talk radio over here. And if I just don't have anything to talk about, I can talk about the zoo and the Metro Center. And that's going to get the phones ringing. I get the equivalent of that over at our local news channels is the JSU Stadium. When they need some clicks, put it in their veins. It's JSU Stadium time. And I know people are tired of hearing the simple response to that, but a city that can't keep water doesn't deserve anything new. It's that simple. And the state doesn't pay for expansions to Mississippi State Stadium or to Ole Miss's Stadium or to the one in Hattiesburg. Now, apparently they do build volleyball courts, but hey, that's another story for another day. The municipalities don't pay for the stadiums. JSU's got to raise the money, get the bonds, however all that works, and get a stadium. If they can do all that, then by all means, get the stadium. Get a new stadium. If they can, I don't know, do they technically legally own the stadium now? Was it 100% gifted to them? Or are they just allowed to use it at no cost as long as they maintain it right now? So I say that to say this. If they sold that to UMC to build medical facilities, we all know it would be worth more to that area to have more medical facilities than it is to have 4 or 5 football games a year. At the end of the day, more consistent jobs down there, more consistent people breaking bread at the restaurants, gas stations, stores, all that, 365 days a year, trumps the best president ever, trumps 4 or 5 big game days a year, in my opinion. So if they could sell that, could they use that money as a down payment on a stadium? I don't know. I'm asking. Look, I'm not an economist. So just my thoughts. But Deion Sanders ain't staying. I don't know that he should go to Auburn either. I hear that. I'll tell you where Deion should go. Like if it was just me, if Clay Edwards got to pick where Deion Sanders went, I'm completely wrong now. I can't say I thought this last week. I was going to say I thought he'd be great at the University of Houston. But he ain't even letting his kids get out of the hotel rooms in Houston after that rapper got killed there the other day. So I'm guessing Houston ain't really wrapping their arms around Deion right now. So, but I know Florida State makes all the sense in the world down to Tallahassee. But I was thinking Houston the other day. It's a very metropolitan area, very urban center like Jackson. But Houston is on the cusp of becoming a major Power 5 school. Deion could be the tilting power for that. But hey, I hope he stays. Let's see here. Text on the Guns and Gear text line. Says Sanders going to Auburn. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Most likely. I mean, honestly, he probably is. Same texter said, yes, that last caller, I'm so glad I don't walk around with bugged out eyes and raised ears looking to be offended. This time about Sylvia's call. Bugged out eyes waiting to be offended. If they heard that things me and my coworkers talk about, they would have a stroke. Let's see here. Unknown texter. Need update on your YouTube undeveloped property. Oh, need an update on my YouTube on undeveloped property. Yeah, I do need to get back on the YouTube and actually do something other than just post this radio show. But the problem is I've kind of been into Jackson and back through every square inch of it, doing videos and robo-blogging and all that stuff. I did see where one of my crowning accomplishments, the old Southwest Hotel, the old Holiday Inn on 80 up on the hill there, where I got my drone and got grounded by the FCC or FAA or whatever one it is that controls airspace. I got in trouble. I hadn't flown my drone since, but they have finally been doing some real construction over there, finally turning it into the Pearl, the retirement community. I guess they finally got all the grant money and everything. So, hey, called a spade a spade. I said it wasn't going to happen. It is happening. $27 million project. So, oh, hey, look, man, follow me on Twitter. I just got a tweet, a DM here on my Twitter. It says, I want to troll Jackson's woke cancel culture. Says, I'm listening to you. Hey, tell me how, brother. Tell me how. And follow, like I said, follow me on Twitter at Save Jackson, Save JXN. I've enjoyed Twitter a little bit more here lately. Maybe it's a mental thing. I don't want to go to like Truth Social and just be in a echo chamber. But I've been very reserved on Twitter because I also didn't want to get yeeted off of it. But now it seems like the gloves are coming off a little bit. I like going at it, colorfully or respectfully with people on the other side. And Twitter does allow a battleground for the culture war. So I've enjoyed being on there. Facebook, less and less. They're just making it impossible to say anything on Facebook. I just share links. I caught a Facebook suspension the other day for my podcast just being shared on there. It said Clay's best of the month. They said that went against community standards. I appealed it and won. But how ridiculous. All right, look, let's take our last break of the day. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back here in the Matt Kike and Flowwood Studios on 103.9 WYAB. Baby. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Hey, if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, man, I was going to have my buddy Roddy on the show this week, and schedules didn't permit. I double booked on accident. But a huge car show this weekend down at Trustmark Park in Pearl. This is the South Life 2022 going on all weekend right there in Pearl, Mississippi. Speaking of Pearl, shout out to the Brandon Bulldogs last night. They won the Super Bowl of Rankin County. A great game against Pearl there. I watched a good bit of it. I was going to go, but didn't quite make it. It's easy to want to do something at 8 in the morning. By 6 o'clock in the afternoon, all I want to do is go get on my couch. I've been battling a sinus infection all week, so hopefully I'm about on the other side of this thing. And Monday we'll hit the ground running. This Monday, we'll have Rylan Thompson. He's running for school board out there in Madison County. He'll be doing the first hour of the show with me. And, man, he just hooked me up with a really cool laser-engraved Clay Edwards Show cup. I posted a picture of it on my Facebook. Check that out. If you need any laser engraving, give Rylan a shout right there at 45 Precision. If you're out gun shopping this weekend, speaking of precision, get out to Guns and Gear right there on Highway 51 in Gluckstadt. See Hunter and the team. They're the home of No Limit Ammo right there, gunsandgearms.com. All right, Jim Thorne is up next. I was just told by one of my followers to promote my Gab page. Just go search Clay Edwards Show on Gab. I'm there too. I'll see you on Monday. Stay safe.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.